What's going on Beyond FOMO community? In this AMA or interview, we're going to be talking to the man behind the project of Up Token. Now, this isn't going to be a crazy long interview. This is really just the basics intro, the types of questions that I like to ask at the very start of a project or finding a project. And I would say, most importantly, the community, because although it is small, the amount of engagement is truly amazing. And that's exactly what I look for when we're trying to find these undiscovered gems. Now, real quick, it is part of PulseChain, which has recently launched. So there's a little bit of a trade-off with that because I then have to also teach you how to get the token. So we're going to have another video on that. It's all going to be connected, I promise. Now, because this is an intro, I will tell you, hit that subscribe button, follow us, Beyond FOMO community, and leave your questions below. This is an introductory video. We want you guys to continue asking more questions, and we're going to have more of these AMAs. Now, I do have a quick disclaimer. We're going to put that up. We'll go right into the AMA or interview. See you guys in a bit. Beyond FOMO community, we got an awesome AMA or interview lined up with Haunted, and he is from Up Token, which actually launched on PulseChain. Big news, right? PulseChain's everywhere, Richard Hart. This whole interview is basically an introduction to Up Token. We want to get to know Haunted a little bit more. And that's, to me, kind of the most important part about projects, right? We want to know who's behind the projects, their mindset, and kind of like what's going on in the back end. So, Haunted, thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
Good, my friend. Good. Thank you very much. It's exciting to be here. This is actually my first official AMA.
Okay, nice. We're breaking records already.
That's it. Up Token has been pretty much under the radar for a while, intentionally, because if you have everyone in a sacrifice, Up Token had like a sacrifice. If everyone was in the sacrifice, who was left to buy later, right? So I just let it naturally grow. And then from there, people were learning about it. Now it's out. They're still learning about it, and they still want to get in. The goal was to build an awesome product, keep it low, and then let the growth grow naturally. And so far, it's been doing that, and it's doing real organically. Yeah, that's it. My goal was I didn't want like a pump and dump. I didn't want any of that. I wanted to be as natural as possible, so that way the chart can look as awesome as it has.
Now, I know I jumped the gun a little bit by saying PulseChain and then Ethereum ERC20, but for those that are watching are wondering, sacrifice, kind of, what is
I'll start from the beginning. Yep. Yeah, I'll start from the beginning. There was a sacrifice for the Up token. It went to what we call a benevolent wallet. So people will send their funds to a benevolent wallet in the hopes that they'll get the Up token. And that period has passed. There's only 21 million tokens in supply, mimicking Bitcoin. And the goal was, for example, Bitcoin is inflationary. And let's say if I built something that's deflationary through an outside mechanism like a benevolent wallet that comes in and buys and burns the Up token. So we just stuck with the 21 mil. Some people suggested, for example, let's have 21 billion instead. People are unit biased, but
and we see the crazy low numbers, all these decimals. It's not fun dealing with tokens like that.
Yes, sir. So yeah, let's just keep things simple. I try to keep things as simple as possible. So we went with that. Then it wasn't intended to launch on Ethereum, but I said, hey, let's launch on Ethereum. It's like a second sacrifice. Whoever needs to get out can get out. Whoever wants to get in can get in. So it was sort of like a second sacrifice on Ethereum.
And how long ago was that though? Was that when PulseChain sacrifice was happening, or is it a little after? Was it at the time?
No, that was I think it started in February. Oh, man, dates, I'm very, very bad at dates. It started just before PulseChain launch of V3. It stopped at V3. So before V3, there was like a time period where the Up token was on the market. When V3 launched, I suggested to the community, hey guys, if you are providing liquidity, remove it. We don't know when mainnet is, because if mainnet launched and the snapshot has been taken, and you're a liquidity provider, everyone dumps on your heads and they take that value out of it. So I suggested to the community listened, they all removed, and then there was no liquidity from V3 up until mainnet launch. It got copied over. It's been smooth. No one, from my understanding, has gotten wrecked from that. So it's been good. And then mainnet launched. Basically, the copies that were on Ethereum are now obviously on PulseChain. They people started providing liquidity. The community started providing liquidity. The benevolent wallet provided liquidity, and it's been smooth sailing from there. There's also a second wallet that's going to create a buy and burn as well. That's a Liquidity Bonanza wallet. This Liquidity Bonanza wallet has 10,000 up tokens for giveaways. If someone sends 10,000 Pulse, they're getting a chance to draw to win 10,000 up tokens. I think 10,000 Pulse is very small to 10,000 up tokens. That's a pretty good deal. What happens there is the Liquidity Bonanza wallet basically is what it does now would be 90% of whatever it gets goes into providing liquidity. So it literally buys up token from the market, pairs it with Pulse, and provides liquidity. And the rest of it goes to a buy and burn. So actually, there's going to be a buy and burn before the benevolent wallet even starts its actions, which I think is pretty good.
Okay. One big aspect that I definitely want to get into later on, we don't have to do it right away, but the community aspect. It's still relatively small, but everybody is highly engaging in there. Everybody is truly excited. They understand the concept. They're fully backing you like 1000% here. So even though you went from the ERC20 to PulseChain, they backed you. They followed you. They're supporting you. They've listened to you like you are the leader. I mean, Haunted, you're the guy. You're the guy we're all looking up to. Right?
You know what? A leader's only great if the community treats him well, and I wouldn't have done it without the community. Honestly, it's the community that should be taking the credit, not me. I just try my best, and if the community listen, it's up to them. And if they do it, they have been amazing. Their support, their belief. I jump into other chats. I like looking at what other people are saying. I've been looking around, right? And honestly, the up token community, even though small, when natural growth, that's what I'm after. I don't care. I don't want 10,000 people in the Telegram chat. I want it to grow as natural as possible. I want word of mouth. I want people to tell their friends, families. Who do you want to benefit the most first? Your friends and family. And we've been getting that. I've been getting people that are not in crypto getting into up token. People outside of PulseChain community, and I haven't even pushed it. That is, to me, I'm so happy. I am ecstatic that I'm bringing people from outside the community into the PulseChain ecosystem. They're coming in to buy Pulse. They're coming in to buy up token. And I actually tell them, hey, go put majority of stuff in Pulse and buy a little bit of up. That's all you need. You don't need to go buy hundreds and thousands of up tokens. Just buy a little bit. Hold it. Hopefully it works out for you. The community, I reckon I'm down here and the community's up here.
Hey, we've got some troublemakers though. They're trying to do some reverse psychology in the group. They're trying to get some sell-offs to get some better deals. Put it that way.
Yes,
nothing wrong with that.
I call that.
See it.
I call that entry liquidity. People are looking for entry liquidity. You know how in crypto people are looking for exit liquidity. They try to pump it up so they can exit. It's looking like the opposite. People are trying to FUD so they can enter into the up token and get more. Yeah, so to see that's it's pretty good. Like, it just shows how great and strong up token is. People are trying to get people out so they can get in at a cheaper price.
So I do have to say, on that note though, PulseChain, it did just launch. They had some not really issues, but more congestion with the actual bridge, right? And there is obviously a learning curve to it. It is an entirely new blockchain. People have been waiting for a while. So up token being on PulseChain does have kind of like a curve of entry, right? We do need to educate the community. We do need a little bit more of support and a supportive aspect behind it. Do you think that that's also going to kind of help fuel the growth of the token even more? Because now I know it's all
I was
about
just about
support,
to say
right?
that.
Bringing people in, just
If
making
you
it
didn't,
stronger.
if you literally didn't say that, I was about to say that that helps the growth of UpToken, PulseChain, anything on PulseChain that's a good project. It being in early, we're there, we're early. The growth, it's just gonna grow. More people are gonna be coming on to PulseChain. It is the best time to launch. It is the best time to be in a good project. You want to be in here now, right? And you just hopefully see everything just go up. The bridge aspect, I actually thought it was good. The fact that the bridge got clogged, I say that through Richard Hart's success, you saw the failure of the bridge
Mhm.
because of the congestion. It wasn't built to take in so many transactions. That just shows how strong people believe in Richard Hart. And it gave time for liquidity pools to grow,
Sure.
and less people got wrecked. It was people think it's done intentionally. I don't, but I actually thought it was the best thing that could happen to Pulse. That bridge problem that they had, the congestion, helped the ecosystem of Pulse Chain grow, the liquidity pools grow before they came in and started market buying off the started marketing the PulseX and getting wrecked, right? Because you would have had slippage. They had
Nice.
time for it to grow, so that way they had less slippage, and it was strengthen the liquidity pools. So I actually thought that probably would have been the best thing that happened to Pulse, even though people got frustrated from it. I thought it was good.
I was thinking just about Uniswap when they did their airdrop and everybody went to like sell right away. People were like freaking out, what is this? And I think that was a valuable lesson for those that have been in this space for years to just literally sit back. You don't have to make a decision right away. Just sit back, relax, wait for things to unfold, be patient. That's actually one of the most difficult things to do in this space. But just be patient, wait for things to unfold. And time and time when it's backed by someone like Richard, and someone like yourself that believes in that project, you're usually well taken care of going forward. So patience. Patience
Yes,
is a
sir.
virtue.
That's it. Yeah, and there's a lot of people that like to get into a lot of projects and say, "Hope I get rich from one." And there's some people that like to pick and choose one or two projects, right? Um, and get into that and hope that it works. So do your research. Ask the questions, ask the tough questions. There's nothing wrong with asking tough questions. Make sure you do like that's it. That's very important. Like if it, people don't like being asked the tough questions, um,
Seen
but they
it
need to be
time and
asked.
time again.
Yeah. So
There's so many
don't
projects
be
that
shy of asking. Yeah, the only person that gets hurt is the person who doesn't ask the question, right? Obviously, there are people who ask the question, they get the answer, they don't like the answer, and then they start going on and on and on. That's a different story. But ask the question, get the answer, and then deal with what you've got, right? If you don't like it, then move on. If you like it, then ask more questions.
sure.
There's no problem with that. In any project, I'm not talking about the up token in any project that you get in. How long has PulseChain been out for, man? It's been like I work night shifts, man. I don't even know what day it
Now, like
is.
what,
like I'm
2 weeks, week and a half?
2 weeks. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Dude,
been
even
hectic.
me just being in a space one day could seem like an eternity. So I don't
Yes,
even
sir.
not even
So
days at this point. Yeah.
and like we're only days in. We're only 2 weeks, 14 days in PulseChain. Man, we've got years and years of PulseChain and the ecosystem, and
True.
hopefully we're all going to
We
be
haven't
very
even
very happy
it just
as we
got
hope.
listed on OKX. It's not even on majority of exchanges at this point. All the bridges that are out there, all the bridge platforms, all the dexes don't even have Pulse added to it. So just think about that.
So
The time it takes to
yeah,
integrate
it's
it,
just
it's gonna just time
oh,
just for that.
I think it's a long play, even if the price goes up of Pulse and PulseX. I think even if the price goes up and people are in a very good position, I think that now between now and 4 years, and especially 8 years, I always tell people don't try to go 8 years. The people who held Ethereum for 8 years are very happy.
Yeah,
Even the
for
people that
sure.
held for 4 years, but if you compare the 4 years to 8 years, you will scratch your head and go, "What did I do?"
Still something.
Just expand your horizon. Just go for gold. Don't go for the quick rich schemes. Don't go for the you just want to become financially free straight away and quit and retire. Expand that horizon. Go for the 8 years mark. If what happens in the next bull run, we don't know when it's going to happen. We assume it's going to happen in the next couple of years, but it could be 5 years for the next bull run. We don't know. But imagine what those guys that got into ETH early. How happy would they be then? They don't even need to sell their whole bag. They just need to sell one a week, literally one a week, and they'll probably survive.
Sure.
So
Always
just
have a little,
have
moon bag
patience.
sitting on the side. The tokenomics. So this did start with 21 million tokens, right? And it is deflationary.
Yes.
So that's the whole plan behind it. Now,
Yes.
there is an actual mathematical equation, or there is math behind this. I do think that it is somewhat difficult for us to kind of get that across without showing the visual explanations of that. But if you think you can, go for it. Or correct me if
Yes.
I'm wrong, but it does get somewhat technical. But what is the actual, like, if you could put the use case of the token into something short, how would you best explain that?
All right. Let's first split up the up token and the benevolent wallet into two separate things. First, the up token is just a send and receive token. That's all it is. You can go send, receive, and buy and sell. That is all that token is. It has a burn function in the code where the up token can be burned. That is it for the up token. Now, the benevolent wallet, so that's separate. Like, think of it as separate thing. A benevolent wallet is a separate entity that will come. It likes the up token. It wants to buy and burn the up token from the market.
Mhm.
So it's going to utilize liquid loans. If nobody knows what liquid loans is a lending protocol that you can collateralize your pulse and take out a loan of USDL. And then with the USDL, you can do whatever you want. Liquidity will be provided. People can swap it into Pulse. People can just hold that stable coin, stake in stability pool, and or buy up and burn up token, right? Or buy up token. That's just a short version of Liquid Loans. Go to Liquid Loans YouTube page and just watch some of the videos there and learn how to learn what it does. If you want to get into it, that's like a whole separate video, really.
Yeah, I was watching
But
that.
so
We're not doing this for this introductory video. It's not happening. That's everyone's gonna get
yes,
all way over our head on that one. Keep it simple
yes,
to
sir.
start. We could get to that in another one.
That's it. So the benevolent wallet will utilize liquid loans, collateralize its pulse, use a portion of every loan to buy and burn up token. And as the price goes up, it will continuously buy and burn up token. The magic here would be that it's also going to put stuff into the stability pool. It's going to have stable coins in the stability pool.
Mhm.
And there's also a vault that's feeding the stability pool. As the price goes up, the stability pool value also goes up. And what happens there is that if, say, Pulse comes and corrects 75%, what it will do then, it will take out 40% of whatever's in the stability pool, create two new vaults, one for the buy and burn and one to create more stable coins for the stability pool. And then the buy and burn, so then you'll have two vaults doing a buy and burn and two vaults feeding the stability pool.
And at
And
that same
what
time,
happens with the math?
majority of people have
Yes,
pulses going down, obviously, then other people sell typically. So then naturally
yes,
people would be selling up token, but then these other vaults are basically helping support any type of a dump, sell off, or whatnot,
correct.
and
So the
further taking
goal,
away circulation.
yes. So the reason for that was, first I said, what could I do to help up token in a bear market? And I'm like, well, if I and this is what we come up with the stable coin in the stability pool, the price of Pulse drops 75%. It utilizes 40% of whatever's in there, creates two new vaults, basically creating a buy and burn, making a bullish in a bear market. So that way it helps hold the price even in the bear market, and in the bull market, obviously it'll go up versus a bear market. But in a bear market, it's creating more buy and burn. And what I did then was run the math and go, okay, well, if let's say we had 500K in the stability pool one day, what happens then? And if you run the math and you say, okay, 40% goes into creating two new vaults, price of Pulse continues dropping 75%. From there, first vault gets liquidated, the two other vaults are still there, and it creates two new vaults. Right? How far down can it go before there's nothing left in the
The vaults.
stability pool,
Yeah.
and the volts, where there's only 1 volt left, and that was a 99.8% drop of pulse.
Okay.
And I'm like,
Pretty damn good.
okay,
Take those
am I
numbers.
changing it? It works,
Yeah.
right? So basically, I ran that, and I'm like, wow, pulse can absolutely fail, and then finally come back up, and up token will still survive. And I think that's what makes the community more bullish on this. That it's the fact that it's got mechanisms that protects itself, which with a very, very unlikely scenario, still possible, don't know, that if pulse just goes down and down and down and down, volts get liquidated, and then comes back up token will still be successful.
Mhm.
And I just wanted to build a project that was successful. And man, like worst case scenarios is where pulse up tokens can still thrive. And also when the USDO is in the stability pool, it's earning loan token. And what happens with those loan tokens? They get staked in the loan staking pool, and it's accumulating. Now those loan tokens in the staking pool will never be removed.
Mhm.
So if anything that it makes, 50% goes to buying, burning up token, and 50% will go into the stability pool.
Okay.
So it's reviving the stability pool, and it's buying and burning up token. So it's a small buy and burn. It's going to be continuous buy and burn. That'll happen in a bear market.
I was gonna say
Pulse
you
is
don't
going
want it to be,
sideways.
yeah, you don't want it to be timed out so people could kind of take advantage of it. So have it be spontaneous, be
Yeah,
random, right?
yeah. So there's going to be like a website where people can run the function at any time. You don't know when someone's going to press that button.
Okay,
Um,
like gamify then
uh,
in a way.
yeah, and also the even taking out the loans to do the buy and burn. Um, people are going. You can simply just buy and wait for the buy and burn and then sell if you like. You're going to be pushing up the price, then the benevolent wallet will push up the price, and then you go and sell, push it down. It's fine. It's just going to go like this. It's going to go up, down, and it's just still going to be higher than when it first started. That's fine. Um, I ran those scenarios, and I go, well, they're going to be pushing up the price. Maybe someone will sell on their head, and then the benevolent wallet pushes up the price, and it's not even back to where they were. We don't know.
Sure.
It's just a risk. If you want to take that risk, go for it.
Usually,
Or just buy now because
I don't want to get too far into the
okay,
pricing component or to pull up charts for like this interview, but there's been many times when we've seen sell-offs and it was just eaten up right away. That just happened recently, so
yes,
it's you could already
and
see
that's the
the
community.
chart.
That's that's the community. Like the community believe in it, and they're waiting for those cheap prices. And like I said, people are looking for entry liquidity. So if you see a dump, I'm pretty sure you can see it be eaten right up. People want to buy more up tokens, and if someone dumps, like uh, one of those things where if I see a dump in the up token, I have no concerns or no worries. Even if it stays down there, it is actually better for the buy and burn. The lower the price the up
Yeah,
token is, the more buy and burn there is. So it's one of those things where I don't not like if the price of up token goes down, it's more beneficial for the future. It's a win-win.
true.
Up, down, we're gonna win in the end. What more do you want? Like where there's confidence, if the price gets dumped, there's still confidence in the token, and I'll hold it. Like as in, because I had to sacrifice as well for up token. Like I was like any other uh, uh, sacrificer. There was no team tokens that went to me, and I had to sacrifice myself just to be an up token.
Okay,
Um,
that's pretty damn important
so
to
basically,
know. Yeah.
yes, I should have
Okay.
started off. No, that's
You didn't have like
like a
a,
lot of
a
projects don't do that.
distribution wallet with other up tokens or anything. It was all just fully like a fair launch type sacrifice in a way, or something
Yeah,
similar.
that's it. So all the tokens that have been distributed, other than the ones that were put in the liquidity pool,
Okay.
were basically uh, distributed because they sacrificed.
Okay.
And basically even myself, I personally had to sacrifice if I wanted my own wallet.
Okay.
No
It's
up
good to know.
tokens have come from the benevolent wallet gone to me or any member of the community to date. There's still like 2.7 million up tokens in there. What happened to them in the future? I don't know. Nobody knows. Let's see what the benevolent wallet does, and hope for the best that he does something good for the community.
Okay. Nice. Now, all this talk about burns, vaults, everything. None of that's actually been implemented yet. So there is some buzz within
No,
the community saying, now is kind of the time to accumulate before that even really happens, or before I guess the real FOMO really starts.
basically, yeah. So that's what people want to do. That's what they're saying. Personally, myself, I have to buy my own up tokens, and that's what I'll be doing. I'll be buying my up tokens before the buy and burn. There's also the liquidity bonanza. The buy and burn on that can happen at any time. It won't be as big as the BW, but maybe one day it will. That's the goal. Because now you got to think about it. There's two type of buy and burns. The liquidity bonanza may happen. The goal is to keep that going forever, right? A community member came up to me and he goes, "Hey, I've got 10,000 up tokens I want to do a giveaway for." I'm like, "Okay." He goes, Can you find some sort of tokenomics that can make this 10,000 up tokens worth it?" I'm like, "Okay." So I've asked a few other people in the community. I reached out to people that I know in different chats, and I just said, "Hey, look, there's a guy that wants to give 10,000 up tokens as a giveaway. What are some things that you suggest?" And I asked about 20 people, and I combined all the 20 people, like the things that 20 people said, and I literally came up with the benevolent wallet, the liquidity bonanza wallet. And the liquidity bonanza wallet will, let's say there's 10,000 up tokens, which has currently 20,000 up tokens sitting in the wallet for future liquidity bonanza
Now you guys already have this thing
giveaways.
like primed and ready.
Yeah, so literally it could, if you think about it, let's say, up token is sitting at $1. That's 10,000 up tokens for a giveaway. And in dollar
Pretty damn
terms,
good.
that's $10,000. If it goes to $5 at $10, that's for only 10,000 pulse. That is a
Pretty damn
good
good
deal,
ratio.
if you
I
ask
like
me.
that.
Yeah. And
Okay.
it's also helping with the liquidity. That's why it's called the liquidity bonanza. So the stuff that gets in there, it's going into liquidity pools and a buy and burn. So yeah.
Okay. I know we want to keep this somewhat relatively short. This was more of like an intro as to who you are, a little bit about the project. For those that want to learn more, we can obviously go into the Telegram group. There's plenty of videos that do explain the mathematical aspect behind this, which I myself will also provide later on. Would you like to share kind of like a short term roadmap or a long term roadmap as to where you kind of see up token going from here? So short term being, a month to 6 months, long term, 6+ more.
Okay, so short term and long term. It's basically in the name, up. That's
Okay.
what I'm hoping. It's as simple as that. It's two letters, one syllable, up. Up and only. Let's hope that it does that. That's what that's my goals. I think in up token, there are people that have the next bull run's horizon. I personally am looking beyond that for the up token, as in, I think it's the longer you hold, the better it is. In the roadmap, it's just basically waiting for liquid loans to launch. The benevolent wallet hopefully does what he wants is going to say he's going to do. And the liquidity bonanza keeps going on forever, and it goes on to something. It turns into something that goes on for a very, very long time. Very simple. There's no staking. There's no, what else is there? Like providing liquidity for it to get anything else. It's basically a buy, hold, and just wait for the price to go up. Simplest token. Just buy and hold.
Okay.
Nothing
Sometimes
special
simpler is
about
always
it.
best. Put it that way. It's nothing
That's
with
it.
the memes. It actually does have the math behind it. Does have the actual support behind it. I have seen projects on Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain that are like deflationary, where what they're like little fire emoji people, bombs, like all those kinds of things, and they always kind of like faded out. And I think that's because people always came in to really just pump them, and then they get out. But what really
Yes.
made your project stand out to me and why I really want to get this interview going is because of how excited the community is and this rally behind PulseChain and also the brand. I mean, Up Token. I mean, it does sound pretty damn good. Just like
Yes, sir.
you
That's.
want to keep going up. That's it. It's in the name.
Uh, I thought about the name. I'm like, what is the best name for a token? I'm like, up. How simple could that be? And a logo with an arrow going up. What more could you want? Keep it simple, stupid, they say, and it's working out. So yeah, so let's hopefully that it grows. Another thing that I want to mention is that also in the beginning, one of the things I forgot to say, one of the first visions I had was that the benevolent wallet will not be the only buy and burn mechanism for the up token. I'm hoping that the community come up with new projects, build on top of it, create more buy and burns. The benevolent wallet is a separate entity to the up token. It's just this added bonus. We have no expectations from that. And let's hope it does a buy and burn. And I'm hoping that people, make this grow. Like the person who said to me, I've got 10,000 up tokens. I want to do a giveaway for it. That actually turns into a new project that creates
Sure.
more buy and burn and liquidity. Let's hope that in the future people, start building and building and building, and you just see like many, many things that are doing good for the up token. We've got 2 so far, and it just launched. What
Very
more could
true.
you want?
I think once this community further cultivates, grows, everybody stays together, keeps this thing going, sky's the limit. Keep going up.
That's it. That's it. Up and only, my friend. Up
That's
and
it.
only. It's in the name.
That's it.
It's in the name.
All right, Haunted, let's end it at that point. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us. For those that do have questions, again, leave them below in the comments. We'd like to see engagement, activity. And if you have questions, don't be afraid to ask. Just like we said earlier in this interview, ask questions. I mean, if you're in this space, if you want to know something about a project, ask. Those that don't ask questions usually end up getting hurt or banned or blocked from a group. That's the worst thing that could happen.
That's
Ask your
it.
questions.
If you're banned from the group, then maybe you shouldn't be in it.
It's the
Maybe that's a
best
sign.
sign
That's
there
good,
is.
right?
It's happened to me
But
many times.
that's it. But keep in mind that when you do ask the questions, you get the answers. Like I've seen people like ask questions in the up token, and they got the answer, and they weren't happy with the answer. Then don't persist. Like if you're not happy, like ask again nicely. And if you don't
Yeah,
like the
always got to
answer,
be
just leave
respectful
it
with it.
there and then move. That's it. If people don't like the up token, just go somewhere else. That's fine. I don't mind. I don't want everyone to like the up token. Like it's just if you like it, get in. If you don't like it, then go elsewhere. It's fine. If you're holding up token and you don't like it, sell and move on. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, we got to tell some of the members
do
to
what you want.
stop scaring some of the people away by telling them to sell when they shouldn't be.
I'm guessing the
psychology
funners are
only works
hoping
so far.
the funners will be like, yes, Haunted said sell. Maybe people will sell.
Damn, no, hold it. We're all going up. That's it. All right, thank you
Up
so
and only.
much.
So that's what I hope.
I
Thank you.
appreciate it. This was
And
one of
thank you
the
for
first of many.
having me here. Thank you for having me. Thank you very much. Let's hope that this turns into like a series here, and we just keep coming back. And I keep speaking to you. You're the first, Jason, and let's hope that becomes something big. Thank you very much.
Maybe we'll make these into one
Appreciate
of
it.
the mini projects behind the actual up token. Maybe we could get other projects involved, start some collaborations, do some videos.
Perfect.
We'll see how it goes.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Thank you, and thank you to the community again. Thank you very much.
So, what do you guys think? Now, this was an introduction to the project, so I'm sure you have many more questions. So, I'm going to remind you, hit that subscribe button, leave your questions as comments below, and join us. We're always here to help. Now, I already know it's going to be more of a technical and going back to the mathematical aspects. You're going to have questions on that. We will make a separate video on it, kind of diving deep into it and understanding what it's kind of all about and how it's supporting up token, right? These types of questions, and just going back to the kind of conversation that we had, you want to ask questions. Being in this space, it's highly imperative for you to ask questions. Don't be afraid to just to ask. So we're all here for you. And that's what I also loved about the community behind Up Token. When I first went in there, I started asking basic questions. Everybody that was there to help. So being welcomed and engaging is truly important for a project such as this to continue growing. So for me, I personally do like it. Again, do your own research, but I can see this obviously continuing to grow. I'm going to take this time again, hit that like button, subscribe, join us. We're here.